Hi everybody, and welcome to my video on stereotypes in the movie Aladdin. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about some of the stereotypes that we find in the movie Aladdin. Now, stereotypes are not specific to Aladdin by any means, as we've seen Disney portray stereotypes in various ways in every movie we watched in the course up to this point. However, with Aladdin, I want to try to find out why some characters are stereotyped one way and other characters are stereotyped in a completely different way. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching. In order for us to understand some of the stereotypes that we see in Aladdin, it's important for us to understand some of the history behind the stereotypes in the movie. In Real Bad Arabs, How Hollywood Vilifies a People, author Jack Shaheen chronicles the history of negative Arab stereotypes in movies dating back to 1914. It's also kind of important for us to understand what was happening in the world at that time when Aladdin came out, to understand why Disney chose to do some of the things that it did in the movie. Aladdin marked Disney's 31st animated feature film. It hit theaters in November of 1992 and was fresh on the heels of some hugely successful movies for Disney, namely The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. It also followed fresh on the heels of something that I feel greatly impacted the public's perception of the movie Aladdin. It followed on the heels of the 1991 Gulf War. So how could something like the 1991 Gulf War have any impact on the stereotypes that Disney chose to use while making Aladdin? Let's take a look at some of the main characters and see if we can decide which ones got the negative stereotypes and which ones didn't. First off, let's look at our main character, the young heroic Aladdin. Oh, this isn't how you think of Aladdin? Well, up until late 1991, this is how Aladdin was drawn. Late 1991, on a day that came to be known by the artists and creators involved as Black Friday, studio chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg ordered a complete rewrite of Aladdin. He wanted Aladdin to be less of a young, oafish boy that he originally was drawn as, and more of a brave, heroic figure. That's how we got this version of Aladdin that we've all come to know and love. What makes this version of Aladdin different? Well, let's take a look at some of his features. Apart from his cartoonishly stereotypical clothes, we see Aladdin has light skin. He has very soft features. One feature that does stand out is his bold chin. Who were these features modeled after? None other than Tom Cruise. At Katzenberg's orders, he wanted Aladdin drawn, in his words, less like Michael J. Fox and more like Tom Cruise, more of a heroic type character. Every hero needs a villain, and our hero, Aladdin, finds his villain in Jafar. Aladdin and Jafar are drawn with completely contrasting styles. Jafar's drawings seem to have incorporated many negative stereotypes that we tend to associate with villains, particularly Arab villains. We see that he has much darker skin than Aladdin. He has a long, scraggly beard, a larger nose than Aladdin, and of course, who can forget those dark, menacing eyes? Can you spot the stereotypes? Can you tell the differences between Jafar, who is evil, and Aladdin, who is good? How about now? Now that they're portrayed in a real light, which character looks more menacing? Which one looks more heroic? You can't have a Disney movie without a princess, and Aladdin is no different. In Aladdin we have Princess Jasmine, who's a very interesting character to me, specifically because of the stereotypes Disney chose to associate with her. They could have gone many different ways if they were picking stereotypes to associate with an Arabic princess, and Disney chose an overly sexualized one in Jasmine. Why didn't Disney choose to have Princess Jasmine wear a chador or a burqa if they were throwing stereotypes her direction? Why is it Disney chose to portray Princess Jasmine in a belly dancer's costume for the entire movie? Well, quite honestly, it comes down to marketing. With a domestic box office of well over $217 million and an international box office of over $500 million, Aladdin still ranks as one of the top 100 grossing movies of all time. However, Disney knew when it was making this movie that its true money was going to come from marketing, specifically marketing its characters at small children. Princess Jasmine's over-sexualized stereotype made her a much easier sell for Disney. Disney was able to use these stereotypes to market various clothes and dolls towards children. Disney's used this method before in some of its other Disney princesses. Don't think Disney over-sexualizes women in order to sell? Let's take a look at some of the other characters that we find in the movie Aladdin. How about these three from Genie's first song when he meets Aladdin? Or these three from the balcony overlooking the marketplace? Don't think you've seen them before? Well, you have. We saw them just the other week when we watched Beauty and the Beast. And don't think the stereotypes stop there. Disney seems to go out of its way in this movie to portray the Arab culture in only two ways. There's either the super rich sultan or the rest of the population who are so poor they can't even afford shoes. And speaking of money, in yet one more stereotypical move, Disney portrays all of the characters in the movie who have money as lighter skinned than the characters who don't. Need some more stereotypes? What about the dozens of times we see Arabic men brandishing their swords throughout the movie? This ranges from the guards who seem to have their swords out every time they see Aladdin, to the fruit seller who draws his sword to chop off Jasmine's hand when she hasn't got the money to pay for an apple. Aladdin is a movie that is ripe with stereotypes. From the over-the-top negative Arabic stereotypes used to create the villain Jafar, to the over-sexualized stereotypes we see in Princess Jasmine. Disney's selective stereotyping is on full display. As we've discussed in class, Disney is a marketing machine, and over the years they've had great success playing up popular stereotypes in its movies. When America became involved in a Middle Eastern war during the making of Aladdin, Disney was quick to rewrite the movie, and even quicker to employ its proven strategy of selective stereotyping. While the stereotypes in Aladdin did draw protest and outrage from Arabic groups, the overall result was just what Disney wanted: another blockbuster movie and an endless stream of marketing opportunities that would follow the movie's success. As long as Disney sees its movies continue to make hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office and hundreds of millions more in retail market, I fear that Disney will continue this negative trend in its movies. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.